Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be starting lesson 2.3, which is operations of functions. And this is just a continuation of what we did in 2.1. It's not any harder. We're just putting two of those problems together at once. And so there's two ways that you might see a problem written out. One of them is like this: f plus g of 4. What that really means, in a way to kind of write it a little bit simpler, is f of 4 plus g of 4. So we're just going to be evaluating two separate functions and then adding their answers together. So in this example, if I do f of 4, that's 3 times 4 minus 7. You can probably do this in your head. You could type it out in your calculator. 3 times 4 minus 7. Or you can use the store button that I talked about in 2.1. And any of those really are going to work. I think that it would be smart to get in the habit of using the store button, because whenever anytime you've got an exponent, just go ahead and use the store button. So many people are making mistakes that they otherwise probably wouldn't make. So just a reminder, you type in 4, and then you click the store button, which is this one right here. You store that as X, hit enter, and then we type in 3x minus 7, and it gives us 5. Then we're going to do g of 4, which is 13 minus 2 times 4. Now, I didn't have to store the 4 again because that x value didn't change. And we also get 5. And so this problem asks us to add. It's f plus g. So we do 5 plus 5, which is 10. All right. So let's look here at number 1. We're going to find both f of negative 2 and g of negative 2. So if I go to my calculator, negative 2, I'm going to store that as x. And then type in 2x squared minus x minus 12. And we get negative 2. Here's what I don't want you to do. 2 times negative 2 squared minus negative 2 minus 12. Because look, you get a different answer. That's why you use the store button. Don't do it the wrong way that I just showed you. Use the store button. G of negative 2, that is x plus 7. And we get 5. The problem was f plus g, so negative 2 plus 5, and that equals 3. Number 2, I'm basically doing f of 8 minus g of 8. So I'm going to find my 2, f of 8 and g of 8, and I'm going to subtract my two answers. So 8, I'm going to store that as x. And then I'm going to find f of 8. I could retype it, or you can go highlight it. Oh, I messed up the lighting. me do that again. You can go up and highlight the part that you want to reuse, which was this function, and hit enter, and it brings it back down. Or you could retype it, either way. But we get 108. And then g of 8, that's x plus 7, which is 15. And it's f minus g. So 108 minus 15, and that is 93. Okay. I want you to try questions 3 and 4 on your own. So pause the video and then work them out, and then you can play the video and see if you got the answers correct. All right. Number 3, your final answer should be negative 54. So if you plugged in negative 1 for F, you get negative 9. And plugging in negative 1 for G, you get 6. And then over here, we get 33 and 12. And so I wrote this as a fraction because that's how it was given to me. And that fraction does simplify to 11 over 4, which is an acceptable answer. Or you could have divided it out to get a decimal. If this decimal would have been some long, ugly decimal, then the fraction would have been better. If it's more than like 3 decimal places, you might as well just leave the fraction. And something that I haven't been doing for whatever reason was I really don't want you just to write this answer. So like back here on number 1, I really would rather you write 2 times negative 2 squared minus negative 2 minus 12. Just because that helps you get in that habit of thinking about these and remembering where these answers come from. I don't know why I didn't write that down. I did up here. Not sure why down here. All right, but we'll pick that up and do it correctly now. All right, number 5 is a little different because there's some extra parts to that. But we're going to start out by just finding g of 8 and f of 8 first. So g of 8, we've actually already found that, and that was 15. But let's write it out. 8 plus 7, 15. And then f of 8 is 2 times 8 squared minus 8 minus 12, which was 108. And then we have 3 times g of 8. So 3 times 15 plus f of 8, 108. So if we type this into our calculator, we get 153. Number 6, we need to find f of 2 and g of 2. This would be 2 times 2 squared minus 2 minus 12, which is negative 6. And g of 2 is 2 plus 7, which is 9. And I'm doing negative f of 2. So negative 6 minus 6 times g of 2, which is 9. Oops, you can't see that. And we get negative 48. Now these last two are completely different. We don't have any numbers in those parentheses. Instead, it's left as just x. So what we do is, first off, let's write down our two functions. We're taking the f function and we're adding it to the g function. So if I write them out, 2x squared minus x minus 12, and g of x is x plus 7. Notice how I lined up my like terms, and we're going to add them. So I'm just combining like terms. Negative x plus x is 0. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So those cancel. And then negative 12 and 7 is negative 5. So my answer is 2x squared minus 5. I'm going to change this one to minus. So it's f minus g. So if I write them, 2x squared minus x minus 12, I'm subtracting. So again, we still can bring down the 2x squared. This is negative 1 and 1. So negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2x. And negative 12 minus 7 is negative 19. So the final answer is 2x squared minus 2x minus 19.